Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am so happy to have a conversation with musician, filmmaker, and my friend Adam Ragsdale. Thank you so much for being on my show. I'm so excited to talk with you again.
Hey, thank you for having me, Maya. It's the ultimate pleasure.
So let's get started. So you're releasing music, you have your podcast, Chamber of Chills, you started your own production company, Moon Era Films, and you created the Voca app. So you've been just a little bit busy. Um, how do you find time to focus on so many different projects?
Hmm. So I have found this is going to be probably a ridiculous answer, so bear with me. But I found that I kind of compartmentalize a lot of the different things that I do because I, if I'm like not working on something creative, I feel like I'm like wasting my time. You know what I mean? And of course,
Yeah.
there are times where you feel like, okay, I need to just like relax and enjoy this TV show or this movie or whatever. But
Yeah.
even then, I'm still like drawing inspiration or just enjoying my time. So I with like Chamber of Chills, which is the podcast, or Moon Era Films, which is the production company, I feel like those are kind of tangential. They're in kind of the same world because I'm like reviewing film or I'm focusing on film. So they kind of seep into each other, but then focusing on other things like the Voca app or on my full-time job or on, XYZ, my music, then I feel like if I'm very location based, so if I'm at Starbucks or a coffee shop and I'm working on something that it's just easy for me to lock in and work on that one thing. And then if I leave that place and go to a different place, whether it's my house or on Fridays, I go to the local movie theater and I go upstairs and I just work only on like Moon Era films while I'm there. It's just easy if like, okay, I get to the movie theater, I'm on my laptop upstairs, there's nobody around, and I'm only working on Moon Era films or writing a film or something like that. It's just kind of easy to get in that kind of routine. You know what I mean? So I'm very routine based.
Oh wow, I love that. Yeah. Um, yeah, so your short film, October Daisies, has been premiering at film festivals all over and was chosen as a selection for the Cannes Indie Shorts Awards, which is incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Uh,
much.
Yeah. What was the inspiration behind this film?
Ooh, okay. So I really just I it started with just a general idea of, two emotionless people finding emotion again. And that was like the foundation of the film. And of course, like emotion has a wide dynamic of, I'm feeling very low and sad, but I'm also, experiencing life to the fullest. So it was all about, like emotion is worth it even whenever things are hard, because you get to experience life. And that's kind of the general concept of October Daisies. And then, of course, visually and creatively and production design wise, we decided we wanted to feel kind of fast paced and eclectic and visually symmetrical, which is very reminiscent of directors like Wes Anderson or even directors like that are very dialogue driven. I think that like Woody Allen, for instance, if you've seen like A Rainy Day in New York or like Midnight in Paris, stuff like that. It was kind of we wanted it to be fast paced. So typically whenever you're writing like a film, you write as many pages as you believe are going to be how long it's going to be. So if it's a 10-page script, it's typically going to be about 10 minutes long. So October Daisies was a 26-page script and we got it down to 17 minutes. So that's how fast paced the film is. So
Wow.
yeah, there were a lot of variables, but it was very fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, so who in your life has had the biggest impact on how you choose to live?
Oh wow. Oh, that's a big question, Maya. Well, first and foremost, my wife, Marin, she's just like such a gem. She's had an incredible impact on my life, and how I perceive things. She's the better half of the two of us. She's way more wise than I am. And so she's kind of my rock in a lot of decision making or a lot of, prioritization and what I'm working on. I also drive her crazy because I'm constantly working on something. But yeah, she's just pushed me to really find value in the simple things, and just to enjoy life in general. Now, my beside her, my parents have just steered me into who I am, both, intellectually and creatively. And so I owe a lot of where I am and who I am to them and how they've just helped me grow up. So yeah, my mom and dad for sure too.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, so do you have a specific songwriting process or any rituals you do before writing a song?
Oh man, it kind of varies depending on the season of my life, I think. I have gotten more into writing instrumentation. I started my first song ever released that is still up right now was just a piano instrumental, But as far as like how I write my lyrics, I've kind of I originally wrote from like what I've experienced in my life, like the love that I've felt, the heartbreak I've felt, the friendships I've had, very just personal, experience. But my last album, Moon, which came out a couple of years ago, and I'm working on a part two right now, which is almost done. I wrote, I actually wanted to push myself, and I wrote on, experiences of other characters and movies. And I know you have a lot of experience doing that as well,
Yeah.
writing from the viewpoint of other characters or other, scenarios and stuff. And so, like, I wrote a song called Hollywood Lovers. There are a lot of nuances. It's not sonically like La La Land, but I am very passionate about Damien Chazelle, who directed La La Land, and I love that film. And so
Yeah.
that kind of lyrically and emotionally is similar. But gosh, yeah, it's kind of all over the place. Sometimes I'll just sit down on the piano and I'll just kind of like play around and just improvise a little bit. And about a year and a half ago, I wrote a piano piece that's like a minute and a half long, and I just recorded it on my phone, and then I didn't touch it for like a year and a half. And now I'm working on this film and I'm scoring the short film. And I was going through my old music and I found that song and I was like, that is the perfect theme song for the film that I'm working on right now. So that's going to actually be the theme song. Of course, I tweaked it a little bit, but yeah. So it's just all over the place. So I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it wasn't the correct answer.
Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of experience, writing
Yeah.
about other characters. So you want
Yeah.
to say what is your process? What
Yeah.
does that look like?
Oh, I I don't know. I just kind of like I'll have an idea in my head and I'll write it down and then sometimes I go back to it, sometimes I don't. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's I don't know, I have like an idea in my head of something I want to um say or like a line of a song and then I kind of created around that
Yeah.
like that idea. Um and like I have one song that would I just wanted to express how much that's about a fictional character that I just wanted to express how much that character meant to me. So
Yeah,
that was like my idea for that.
that's awesome.
So,
Well, you're a
thank
great
you.
lyricist.
Oh,
So
thank you. Well,
you're
so
welcome.
are you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, is there a song that you are currently obsessed with?
Oh man, that's too hard. I really liked uh this is funny. I've been keeping up with Bruno Mars pretty recently. He has two songs out right now that are both doing exceedingly well and streaming. One is, Die with a Smile, which is featuring Lady Gaga, or Lady Gaga featuring him. And the other one is Apartment, which is him and Rosie. And both of those are completely different songs and very different sonically, but they're both so fun. And I've been listening to those a lot. There was a song the other day that it's been out for a while, but I really liked it. And it's called See Her Out. That's Just Life by Francis and the Lights. So that's a really fun song that I've been listening to a lot. But other than that, I'm always listening to movie scores and instrumentals. And yeah, so
Oh, cool. I love that.
thank you. There's another instrumental, it's called See You, and it's from the film Past Lives, which came out last year and had a little bit of Oscar buzz as well. But the song See You is a very emotional part of that movie, and the song is just so good. And so I actually just recently learned it on the piano and started playing it.
Oh, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it's fun.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, there's so many songs that I just constantly have on repeat.
Yeah, what is one of yours right now?
Um, oh, now I have to look at my playlist because I have there's do you know the singer Levy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love him. He has his new EP Then and Now
Oh,
that I've been listening to a
oh,
lot.
okay. I'll have to add it so I can listen.
I am writing down the songs you mentioned.
Yeah. Well, I hope you like them.
Thanks. I always love your suggestions, so
Well, thank you.
yeah. Yeah, is there an artist or a song that you consider to be the gold standard when it comes to songwriting and storytelling?
Oh, it definitely changes. I I've recently been just obsessed with like classic not classical, but like classic bands like honestly Queen, David Bowie, like their songwriting is just so good. Um and I love certain I get really attached to certain songs, I think, as opposed to like certain artists. Um in the like lyric writing world, I feel like I split composition and like scoring films from like just like regular music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like certain songs like Kings of Leon. I really like their writing. Delwater Gap is a smaller band, but I really like his writing and some of his songs. There are definitely still some 1975 songs that I'm obsessed with. Um, so yeah, it just is all over the place. So it's for like one person. But as far as like scoring films, I'm just always in awe, and the golden standard will definitely always be Hans Zimmer and Justin Hurwitz,
Mm.
um, which Hans Zimmer has done films like Dune, Interstellar, Inception, The Dark Knight, and then Justin Hurwitz has done like La La Land and First Man and Babylon and Whiplash. So I just love those movies. I'm always listening to their music, and yeah, they're definitely my golden standard.
Oh, I love that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So since your podcast, Chamber of Chills, is all about horror movies,
Yeah.
what is your favorite horror movie?
So my personal favorite, which I'm not trying to spoil, it's not our number one, just so everyone knows. 'Cause we're counting down our top
Oh,
50.
yeah.
My personal favorite in the past few years has actually been Hereditary, which is a pretty gnarly film. It's very, very dark, but there are certain aspects of it that I'm just like are just so well done. And Ari Aster is a phenomenal director and writer. So he's definitely one to watch out for. Robert Eggers has a film called The Witch, which is pretty insane as well. But I also love the classics. I'm a big fan of like classic slashers like Scream or Halloween. Those films are really, really fun to me. So yeah, I would definitely say some of those as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I have never seen any of those movies. Um, my mom had saw the Halloween movies when they originally came out,
Hmm.
and she has told us how like terrifying they traumatized her.
Right.
Um, so now it's like an ongoing joke that if Leia and I find something that's Michael Myers, we'll like send her a picture or we'll like buy it and scare her with it.
Yeah.
So because she always does that to us. So
Right.
it's
You
yeah,
have to.
so yeah. So we yeah, love scaring her with that stuff.
Just continuing her trauma. That's all
Yeah,
you guys. Yeah, that's
yeah,
great.
yeah. Yeah, we
So
always joke that she traumatizes us with like Leia, my sister saw when she saw it
yeah.
uh and she like it terrified her. My mom and I both had the best time. We would team up and like get her like hide Pennywise things around the house or like get red balloons. My
Oh my
mom
gosh.
once put a red balloon in my sister's bed.
Oh my,
Um, yeah.
that is crazy.
Yeah, it was the funniest thing. And now Leia is like now she's like, I don't know what this says about me that now she likes getting Pennywise like stuff. So
Hey, it's fun to play around and scare people like that too.
yeah,
So
it is. Yeah, I remember when I took a photography class. It was like my freshman year of high school, and I we were like at the park by our house, and Leia had just seen it, and so my mom like snuck up behind her and just went creepy clown red balloon, and Leia was like on the ground. And I took a picture of her with the camera, and then afterwards, it was like several months later, I was like, I think that picture is still on the camera. I'm not sure. I never deleted it. So I was
oh
like,
my gosh.
yeah, I was on the camera for that I was using from school. And so I was like, okay, well, you're welcome.
Yeah, now you can blackmail her. So
Yeah, I can.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. When we got that Ariana Grande stand, my mom had the best time putting it all over the house to scare both me and Leia. And that also ended up in Leia's bed one time to scare her. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Oh, it's just not nonstop. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always yeah, very funny. Like my sister and I just laugh when my mom does, scares us.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
hey, that's all you can do, just have fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so what was the inspiration behind starting Moon Era Films?
Oh yeah, so whenever I started it, it actually, it's interesting because I have always, since I was 12, I've always had like a passion and desire to like be a film actor. And so I started acting and I was like, I want to be in film. I want to be, doing that. Um, but then as I actually pursued my career in technology and studied computer science and stuff, I ended up basically getting pulled into some, business opportunities, one being the Voca app with my dad. And so, whenever we raised some funding to do that, I ended up leaving my job and doing that full time and, building the team and getting the app built and going to, taking that to the market and just trying, building a business. So I got a lot of hands-on business experience, which really surprised me that I really, really enjoyed it. And so whenever the Voca app kind of took a step, I took a step back from that. I just kind of looked at, everything holistically and I was like, where do I want to go in my life? Like, what do I want to do? And what can I start doing today that will help me end up there in 10 years, And I was like, I love business, I love filmmaking, I love writing and directing and acting and all that. And I was like, what's the blend of the two? It's a film production company. It's building a team of people who can take ideas and concepts and turn them into stories that we can then make movies at the end of the day, is the goal. So that's how that started. I reached out to a handful of people in my life, about 12 to 15 different friends that I knew A, had a lot of quality and experience, and B, were passionate about filmmaking. And I only had a couple of people say no. The rest said, like, yeah, let's do it. And then we made a short film, and that short film was October Daisies. And then we got film festivals, and started writing more and more. And so then we just recently shot our new film. So yeah,
Wow, that's amazing.
thank you.
Yeah. Um, so what has been the biggest obstacle you've overcome?
Oh gosh, that's a hard question. I would say probably recently it's been prioritization because I like to do a lot of different things. And so it comes down to, what do I want to prioritize? Where am I allocating my time best? And I think I've gotten better at prioritization, but the fact that I'm still doing a lot of different things does not help.
Yeah.
Um, but I at least have a list of things like I've written them out as far as like what I am most passionate about, what I care to spend most time on. But beyond that, I mean, it's always tough, taking a business, having high hopes for that business or idea and then that not panning out. It's similar to like, and every artist, I feel like every musician goes through this as well, is, you pour a lot of time and energy into creative projects like a song or an album, and then, you know, you just don't see it come to fruition like you'd hoped, or you don't see the kind of traction build that you originally anticipated. So it's it's like that, but on a business level, it was like way different with, something like the Voca app where it's like we raised money, we got a lot of people involved, and we tried really hard for a year and a half, Um, even pivoted, spun up a different company to be able to keep our other employees like on salary or paid. And so that was definitely an interesting and very challenging season, was trying to work through that and figure out, if this doesn't pan out or we run out of money or like, what does that look like? And you have a lot of people that are on your salary that are not they're relying on you to be able to make that extra money or to figure it out. And so there was a lot of different pressure than I've ever experienced in that. So I think overcoming that was definitely uh a season for me for sure. But I mean, like I said, Marin has been a huge part of that, just being a rock. And then just the community, the support from those around me has been amazing. And without that, I don't think Moon Era would have started at all. Me just being confident in, in business in general. So,
Oh, wow. Um, so if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
oh, about me,
Yeah.
um, I would say my warning would be, will ask you what your purpose in life is in front of other people. Because I'm always trying to put people on the spot just to be like, hey, like, what are you most passionate about? What do you want to do with your life? If money wasn't a thing, what would you be doing? And it always like throws people off because they're like, this is a really deep question. I need way more time to like answer this. But
Yeah.
I'm like always doing that, which I feel like does drive some people crazy. So
I love that. Yeah. Um, so I am pop culture obsessed, as you know.
Mhm.
Um, and I go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching. Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
We just started watching Friends for the first time a few months ago, and I'm loving it so much. So I've already seen How I Met Your Mother. That was the first show sitcom that I watched, and then I watched New Girl, and now I'm watching Friends, and yeah, it's a very joy-filled ride, that's for sure.
Yeah. Friends is yeah, one of my go-to comfort shows.
Who's your favorite character?
Oh, that's so hard. I
I
love them
know.
all.
I know. It
I
is very hard.
Yeah, I feel like though I'm most like Monica.
Hmm,
Um, so I feel like yeah, I'm more Monica, but I love all the characters.
that's
I
fair.
can't choose a favorite.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand.
Yeah. What about you?
I actually think I'm most like Ross. So that would make
Oh,
us like brother and sister.
yeah.
No, I love all of them as well, though. It is hard to choose a favorite. So they're all so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Yeah, so what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
Oh, well, as you can see, some Christmas has been put up. I don't know, just yesterday, the day before, Marin and I started setting up some Christmas. I find joy in just us investing into our home and making it cozy and comfortable for both of us and just finding joy in being here and like loving our house, loving our home. Um, I find joy in going to the local movie theater and just being appreciative of art and the fact that people like to tell stories and that a lot of people like to go and pay to listen to those stories or watch those stories. I just love that. Um, take pride in being able to go just with friends and go eat dinner. I love
Yeah.
community. I love social gatherings. I am an extrovert, but I do like time to myself as well. So even just like getting to go to a coffee shop and get a Christmas Starbucks drink because I am very basic and just get to read a book or something. So yeah, I find joy in all of that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah,
Thank
I am definitely more of an introvert. Um, I like going out and like interacting with people,
Yeah.
and then I've had enough for a while.
Hey,
Like
no.
I'm happy to go home and just, be on the couch for a little bit, um, and recharge my social battery.
Hey, I totally understand that, everyone, I get it. But hey, for being an introvert, you're an incredible talk show host. So,
Oh, thank you.
yeah, of course, of course.
Um, so how do you keep yourself motivated to create even on days you aren't fully feeling it?
I think the first one is surrounding yourself with people who are also motivated and have quality, creative endeavors that they're doing. I have a lot of friends that care deeply about their creative passion, and a lot of them have differing, creative outlets. One wants to do architectural photography, and the other one wants to do branding and, marketing, and the other one wants to do production and film. And so it's just really cool to see, all of those people passionate, and it keeps me passionate, and it keeps me, moving forward. Um, Beyond that, though, just like personally, I just find a lot of inspiration from music, constantly listening to music, and constantly going to the movies, watching movies. I just love film. So I feel like every time I watch a new film, I'm always inspired in some capacity.
Oh, I love that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So what do you wish people better understood about you?
I am an open book, so this is kind of hard. I, oh, what do I wish people understood most? I think, um, the biggest thing to me, and I feel like people close to me do know this, but maybe like beyond my inner circle, like I don't know if people would know this about me, but like I feel like what I want to do most with my life is less about creative output and more about being able to make a difference in somebody else's life. I write music, of course, for me, and I want to write music that I love, but at the same time, I'm hopeful that my music is able to resonate with somebody, and just make a difference. I even as simple as the other day, like somebody DM'd me on Instagram and I didn't know who they were, and they said that they played Boulevard as like their song at, their first dance which is one of my songs, and they played that at their wedding. And I was like, wow, like how amazing is it that like one of my songs like was such a monumental moment in that couple's life. Like that just means the whole world to me. So I hope that across, my films that I make or my music or even my podcast, that people can find it as a sort of escape, or a way for them to learn, or to be involved in some community. So I think that's what I would want people to know most.
Oh, that's incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, so I have one final question for you.
Okay.
Um, I love inspiring and motivational quotes, and this week my favorite quotation is without rain, nothing grows. Learn to embrace the storms of your life. Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
Oh man, that's a great quote, by the way. I might steal that
Yeah,
eventually. No, I
you are welcome to.
hey. Um, Let me think. I really like the quote. Um, this is so basic of me, so bear with me. But I had this quote in my email signature for a long time, and I took it out because I was like, I don't want to be that guy. But I had a quote from Walt Disney, and it's just, no matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world. And I just believe that to, wholeheartedly. And I think that that's that's just something that I want to live by, like those things. So, um, that's well, actually, I was like, wait, that I need to look that up. It's actually not Walt Disney, it's Dead Poet Society. So, I stand corrected. But
Yeah.
same thing. It was
Yeah.
Mr. Keaton's character from Dead Poet Society, which is who Robin Williams plays in that. But yeah,
Huh. Well, I love that quote.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my final question for you. I just always love talking with you. And so I have just had the best time. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, Maya. You're always a pleasure to talk to, and I am excited to continue talking to you all the
Yeah.
time.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so again, thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too, Maya. Thank you.
You. And that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest with Maya.